Welcome back to Happy in the Fly Outdoors. My name is Carson, and today we're going to be doing a very special review video on the Mosses Creek Outdoors squirrel calls, the squirrel whistle and the squirrel barker. In this video I'm going to be doing a review on the calls itself, how to use the calls, when to use the calls, but also taking it out in the field and getting some squirrels with the call. So stay tuned and watch the video. So alright everybody, let's get started with this review video. So to tell you a little bit of the backstory of how I got to know with Mosses Creek Outdoors is that I was looking for something that could draw out the squirrels from their nests. Usually around this time, a lot of squirrels are starting to den up because of the cold weather, and basically it's really hard to get those squirrels out of their nests and basically just feeding. So it's really tough to get around and actually see any squirrels, but there's only two ways that you can get them out of their nest. One, you wait, or two, you can get yourself a squirrel call. Now the squirrel call is either made for making a distress sound to entice them to come out and see what's happening, and the second one is aggression, and basically that's just making them basically mad, and or there's another squirrel in their territory and basically they just want to pick a fight. So I was looking online, I was looking all over for squirrel calls to get and to do a review video or do a video with them in my YouTube channel. So what I was deciding is that which one should I pick? Now what I've researched is that a lot of squirrel calls out there have that basically that plastic piece that you can pump air through and you can make that that chatter or that squall sound for squirrels. The problem that I have with those is that you only have one specific volume that you're going to get from that call, and you're not going to get really any type of different sounds from it, except for if you shake it or you just push on the plastic piece. In conclusion, I ended up finding a really cool website, Mosses Creek Outdoors. Now they make game calls, everything from squirrel calls, and they have many more game calls, but they have two different type of squirrel calls. Now the gentleman that owns the company was really kind to me and to letting me do this review video, and besides just giving me one squirrel game call, he actually gave me two. The two that he got me is the squirrel barker and the squirrel distress whistle. Now these calls are pretty dang cool. Number one, they don't have that plastic piece. You blow through it or you inhale through it. And also they make different type of animal sounds out of this, which I'll be showing you in this video. So what it is that basically the squirrel whistle is a distress call and the squirrel barker is an aggression call. Before getting into the call and what it sounds like and how to call squirrels with them, let's get into the specifics of how this call looks and the quality of the lanyard and the calls. So the owner from Mosses Creek Outdoors was really kind enough to put this lanyard together to put both calls on there, which is really cool. If any of you out there are interested in Mosses Creek Outdoors or buying a product from Mosses Creek Outdoors, please go down in the description below. I have his website linked down there. If you are interested or asking any questions about the call, please feel free to go down there or ask me, and I'll be sure to get connected with you with Mosses Creek Outdoors. Alright, so right off the bat, the lanyard is awesome. Very comfortable around the neck, things like that. But also down here he has a metal piece, a metal clamp, and then also he has the coil here, which keeps the call from getting all tangled up and things like that. So overall, the lanyard is awesome quality. So now getting into the calls, he has his logo, which is a pretty cool logo, Mosses Creek Outdoors. Let me try to focus there. There we go. And he has a tiny little section here where you can put your lanyard on so it doesn't slip off. Now, one thing about the call, there's a small hole and there's a big hole. Basically, the distress whistle does not have a reed, but the squirrel barker does. So that's one key difference between the two calls. Other than that, the calls are both the same size, same width, everything else like that, but just create different type of sounds. Again, this is super cool because you can mimic those sounds without that plastic piece, and basically you can adjust the volume, you can make how scratchy and realistic you want the squirrel call to be, and again, you can make some different type of animal sounds out of this, which is pretty cool too. Alright, let's start off with the squirrel whistle. So the squirrel whistle is a distress call for squirrels. It's pretty dang simple. You can either blow through the call or you can inhale through the call. Preferably from the owner of Mosses Creek Outdoors and I do agree that inhaling makes it more of a realistic sound. You can do both. They do sound similar, but inhaling sounds a tad bit better. What's funny is I'm in my backyard and these squirrels are driving me nuts. Alright, so let's get started. So basically the squirrel call, or the squirrel whistle, sounds basically just like a whistle, but very high-pitched sound. But this draws out the squirrels. This gets their attention and see what's happening. So let's try it out. So basically, I'm going to inhale 5 times, and let's see how it sounds. Perfect call. I mean, like, great. I mean, I see nothing wrong with it. Very realistic sound. Squirrels, either if a squirrel is getting attacked by a hawk, or either it gets injured or something like that. Basically, this call imitates just that. So besides all that, that sequence there, making 5 inhales, is a perfect imitation of a squirrel distress. If you're actually interested in how to make more call sounds with this also, please go to MOSSES Creek Outdoors YouTube channel. They have plenty of how-to videos on how to imitate squirrel distress whistles, things like that, and other game calls. One thing I did forget to mention is that inhale from the small end. Don't do it from the big end, the small end. And basically with the other call though, you can also do the big end and the small end, which I'll show you in a little bit. Alright, so with that, basically simple, down to earth, but now let's get into what else or what other type of sounds you can make with the squirrel whistle. So other than this, these calls, both of these calls are also predator calls. With the squirrel whistle, you can make an awesome woodpecker distress or bird distress sound. Only thing you need to do is to flutter your tongue up and down, and basically if you inhale at the same time, you're going to get that bird effect to this call. And with this one, I'm going to be using my hand to imitate the sound. So basically it just makes like an awesome bird distress sound. Also, you can do mouse squeaks with this and all that stuff. Basically, this is a cool all-around call. I'll be doing a future predator videos with this. Usually when I play like a mouse distress, things like that over here where I am, there's a lot of red fox, and man, that is the most deadliest call you can do. So I'm really excited to use this in my future videos. Alright, besides all that, there you go. There is the squirrel whistle. Alright, so besides the squirrel whistle, let's move on to the squirrel barker. With the squirrel barker, it's a more of an aggression sound. It's more loud and it's more raspy, I should say. And basically, this could be either imitated by a squirrel or a rabbit distress, who I'll be shooting you later on. So what you're going to do is that you're going to go from the big end of the call. You're going to cup your hand here. And basically, I'm going to make a couple of chirps. Like chirp, chirp, chirp. And basically, they're really high pitch and they're really short. Basically, this is what you start off with when you want to talk to squirrels. This is what it sounds like. So what else you can do with this call is also you can start mimicking more of an aggression sound just by making the chirping a little bit faster, and then later on we can add a squall. With the squall, only thing you need to do is to inhale, and basically you just get this long squall out of this reed. Alright, let's get to it. For a conclusion, what I like to do too is just to cut my hands right at the end, just like this. Basically, that's just a really all-around, really realistic call. And also too, if you have squirrels close to you and things like that, or you really don't want to get too aggressive with them, you can just make tiny little sounds like this. So all around, this is another cool call to get. So another sound you can get from this is using the small end and inhaling, and you can make this pretty nasty, cool rabbit distress sound of it. So with this, I like to cut my hand. Get ready, folks. It's about to get loud. But man, this is going to be a really deadly call for pulling in foxes, coyotes, and other type of predators. This is what it sounds like. So all around you get a cool squirrel call, squirrel barker, and also you can get a pretty good rabbit distress call out of this squirrel barker. So all around, thank you so much, Mosses Creek Outdoors, for doing this review video. I was really happy with the product. So in conclusion, I hope all of you out there are interested in the Mosses Creek Outdoor game calls, and including the squirrel whistle and the squirrel barker. All around, great call, great product, and I'm sure that these calls will last you a lifetime. Alright, besides all that, I know this is the moment you've been waiting for. Let's use these calls to pull in some squirrels. Let's get to it. Alright everybody, we're out here in the bush, and right now we're walking into the state game lands. So the key is to this is to what I've learned. I've had this call for quite a while now, and been learning a lot from it. What I've learned is that if you don't hear anything or things like that, go for the distress whistle. That really brings them out, and then that brings them to talking. Now the talking, what they do is that they bark, 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 and then they do more of a scream sound. And that's when to pull out the squirrel barker. So when you pull out the squirrel barker, make a couple of choot, choot, choot. And then after that, then you can suck in the air and then make that long scream sound. Alright, so we're going to get out here. Now my hopes is that I can either hear a squirrel before I go in. And basically then I can talk with the squirrel, make him draw him out. And basically just take a shot at him. I'll try to film with this camera as much as possible. But I have a squirrel right in front of me. He's barking a bit. And basically I'm going to pull out the squirrel barker and maybe I can entice them in. Alright, let's see if we can get him. Oh yeah, got him on the good old squirrel call. Nice. All right, everybody, we just got our first squirrel of the day. Man, this squirrel call really worked. I've never had a squirrel call work like this before. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video on the Mosses Creek Outdoor squirrel whistle and squirrel barker. This has really been a big success, and I've really hoped that you take a lot from this video. If you haven't already, please go down in the description below. I have Mosses Creek Outdoor website. If you go down to his website, he has a bunch more calls out there. Really swell guy, and man, I give him a lot of props and a lot of thanks for giving me these 2 calls, because man, I'm definitely going to have some more success out there getting in the squirrels. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like the video if you really enjoyed it. And if you have any questions about the call itself or things like that, please comment to me, or even go to Mosses Creek Outdoor website and you can ask him yourself if you have any questions about the call. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I gotta get back home, start skinning this guy out, and hopefully come out here again and use these awesome calls. Well, thanks again everybody. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Till then, I'll see y'all next time.